Throughout the years, I've been seeing way less respect for the Fullbringer arc than it actually deserves. And recently, I've come up with a theory that actually, in my opinion, makes the Fullbringer arc actually way more of a better arc than most of the arcs in the Bleach series, in my opinion. And this arc is actually very underrated. As an arc that comes after the Aizen arc, there is a lot of expectation. And for a lot of people, this arc didn't seem to fill up that void of expectation. But I have a theory for this arc that, in my opinion, makes the arc way more better than most people might actually suspect to think. Because in my opinion, the Fullbringer arc is my favorite arc of Bleach. But a lot of people seem to not think the same way. A lot of people like to think that the arc is very underwhelming. But I feel like Taito Kubo had a very good way of writing this arc. And not only that, but this is one of the best arcs that actually takes up the formula of the hero's journey in an anime arc and actually does it pretty decent. Like, you have arcs like the Kurta arc from Hunter x Hunter that also does this, but I feel like this arc does it better. The Fullbringer arc is one of the reasons why it's my favorite, is because of Ichigo's character development. And it's not just Ichigo either, it's characters such as Uryu, Byakuya, and anybody else in that arc. But this will specifically be focusing on Ichigo's development, and why I think that Ichigo's development was purposely written in the 5 stages of grief, which is denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. The best part of Ichigo's development is a breaking point, in my opinion, when he's crying and he's on the ground begging and demanding for his power back. That part to me is a very intimate part to a piece of Ichigo's character that we have yet to see up to this point. We got to see Ichigo at his weakest point. We got to see him sad by himself in a point of time that actually he's sad that makes sense. It didn't come out of nowhere. It was a buildup of the whole entire arc. Ichigo was built to get taken down, basically. And this is why I believe that this arc is really good. But why do I think that this arc was split up into the 5 stages of grief? Well, I can explain it, and I can explain how each portion of each of the arc each represented each of the 5 stages of grief. But let's get straight into it. Ichigo, throughout the entirety of the Fullbringer arc, went through development in the forms of the 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, and depression, and acceptance. And he went through denial when he could no longer accept not being a Soul Reaper. An example of this is when he consistently tried to help Rukia with hollows, even though he didn't have powers. Anger is when his sister was attacked by a hollow and he couldn't do anything, making him extremely agitated. You could also consider the Uryu disappearance as a part of fueling his anger as well. Bargaining is when he talked to Execution, aka the Fullbringers, and made a deal with them in order to get his Soul Reaper powers back and to protect his friends, which was ranged for a long time of the arc, till we get close to the end. Depression is like when I said before, close to the end. It happens in a scene which is regarded as the best scene of Bleach, in my opinion. Basically, what happens in the scene, as I was saying before, is that everyone has been turned over to Genjo's side, and it's revealed that Genjo is actually evil. Ichigo, after losing all his friends, losing his powers and everything, is on the ground and pleading as he prays for his powers back. For the first time, he begs. Heartbroken and feeling defenseless, all his hard work up to this point, all his struggle, everything basically went crashing down for nothing. This scene that can describe This is the only scene that can describe how Ichigo could have felt, was falling deeper and deeper into the depths of his overflooded mindscape, being dragged by a chain. This was Ichigo's full true depression. I like this. This is the best part of everything up to this point, because it shows you that Ichigo is not just a self-insert character like people like to say he is, and Ichigo has his own feelings and can also feel petty and can also feel like he doesn't want something to happen and feel powerless. And then we get to the last part, which is acceptance. Acceptance is when he finally gets his powers back and accepts that sometimes he's not the only one that can do everything. And then more Soul Reapers come in to help him out, and this shows Ichigo that not all the time does he have to be a hero. And that's the reason why, in my opinion, Ichigo has the best development in this arc, is due to the fact that I feel like it was split and chunked into this specifically. If you guys don't believe that this is true, or you guys have a different perspective on this arc, I would really like to hear it. But this is basically my theory to why I believe that Ichigo has one of the best character developments in this arc specifically. And if Taito Kubo did this by accident, it's still pretty good how he wrote Ichigo's character.